Hey homeschoolers, I'm Melissa Webb, former full-time classroom teacher and homeschool mom turned full-time business CEO and encourager to homeschool families everywhere. I am determined and dedicated to helping you in this journey that you're on. Yes, I want to give you sound, educational, practical tips and advice, at the same time making sure that you're enjoying the family journey that you are on. So if you are looking for a place to be encouraged and inspired, you have found the perfect podcast. Homeschooling is a work of heart is truly the perfect place to start. So welcome. Let's jump in. Well, hello, friend. How are you this week? I hope you are doing great. I have to ask, how'd you sleep last night? Now, I know you might be wondering, why would you ask me that? But you could quickly tell by this week's title, Sweet Dreams, I do want to talk about the importance of sleep. But I think it's interesting, first off, that so many of us start off the day by asking our family members, how'd you sleep last night? When I was a kid, my dad was always one to make light of this question. He would press his palms together and he'd tilt them to one side and lie his head upon them while saying, like this. And while it could just be habitual small talk, I think that asking anyone, how did you sleep last night, is another way of saying, I care about your well-being. And since sleep is universal, that means we all know what it's like to have a rough night. And I think when we ask, it's kind of this easy way to, one, show that we care, but also possibly empathize. It's also, as a parent, a great way to measure and predict how your children's mood, energy, and behavior will likely be as the day goes on. So yes, you should be asking your kids and spouses how they slept. I will tell you, just from some of the research that I was doing on this week's topic, today's youth, specifically those between the ages of 8 to 12, are experiencing more sleep problems than any other generation, which is very interesting. There's this increasingly common issue with sleep, even though we live in a day and age where we have the most comfortable beds and ergonomic pillows and weighted blankets. But for some reason, regardless, we are having and experiencing more sleep problems, or maybe we're just more aware of them. We talk more about these things today. Whatever the reasons may be, what pediatricians recommend is that our tweens should be getting 9 to 12 hours of sleep every night. So going to bed, let's say at 9 o'clock at night, and then not getting up till 7 or 8 o'clock is actually very healthy. Yet today's youth are staying up much later than 9 p.m. and they're still getting up quite early. That, of course, is then offering nothing but insufficient sleep and sleep deprivation. So I've read a lot on this, and I can just tell you there are a whole lot of reasons why doctors think this is happening. It has a lot to do with allowing children screen time before bed. The blue light affects melatonin production. Not even having bedtime routines. Maybe kids just fall asleep on the couch and they're not even doing their regular routine. Children today overthinking, having lots of feelings around anxiety, or having late night stimulations through movie watching, some graphic kinds of movies or graphic kinds of gaming far too late into the evening. Sleep problems not only result in over tiredness and poor sleep quality. But we are missing out as parents on this opportune time to help our kids. And not just today, but to help our kids even when they are adults. If you've been following me on social media over the summer, you have heard me say numerous times that I believe summer is the golden season to continue working on an academic area that you know your child needs some extra practice in. But I would also say that bedtime is the golden window for parents to deeply connect with their children while building some lifelong sleeping habits that are going to serve your children very well. So that's what we're going to talk about this week. Every single night you have an opportunity to shape what your child mentally rehearses before sleep. This is going to build both emotional resilience and personal identity. And it's going to happen through your modeling, through your guidance. So I want to just ensure that you and your child have sweet dreams tonight. Are you familiar with Dr. Wayne Dyer? He was a motivational speaker for years. He had a master's in psychology and loved talking about the brain and specifically the subconscious mind. And he wrote so many books. The one that really helped empower my ownership of my own thinking was his book titled Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. If you're looking for a good book to read for yourself this summer, I highly recommend you read that or reread it if it's been years. Anyway, he often emphasized that the last 5 minutes before we fall asleep are the most important of the day because that is when our subconscious mind is the most open. It's the most impressionable as you drift off. So it's really critical that we're using those last 5 minutes before falling into sleep wisely and intentionally. And he's not the only one. There's actually a lot of science, neuroscience, and psychology that backs this up, that what we think about before we sleep most influences what our subconscious will work on throughout the night. So that could be the dreams we have, kinds of problem solving that we may do, our emotional regulation. And when we fall asleep with a very positive mindset, we increase our serotonin levels and our dopamine levels. Those two chemicals calm our brain and put us into a preparation for a deeper, more restorative sleep. There was a study back in 2003, Emmons and McAuliffe. And what they did, I believe they had 3 study groups. They had the different groups doing different things. But bottom line was the participants that were asked to write in a gratitude journal before sleep fell asleep faster, slept longer, and felt more refreshed upon waking. That's pretty impressive. So this whole thing of falling asleep worrying about things or complaining that your day didn't go the way you wanted, those repetitive negative thoughts at night can actually hardwire anxiety patterns in our children and in us. So practicing intentional uplifting thoughts counters that. If nothing else this week, I just want you to pay attention tonight to the bedtime routine for your children, but also for yourself. What could this look like? So first tonight, just pay attention to what do you do on a normal night? Maybe you can pull that right now from your memory banks. What are typical nights in your home for your children? We all have those off nights, but I mean regularly, routinely. What does it look like for you? What does it look like for your children? Give this some time and some thought. What ideally it would look like, and what I would hope you would practice if you aren't already, are a few things. One, starting an evening gratitude practice. Now, this is so short. I'm talking a few minutes. It's a short, simple reflection on whatever it is that your child is thankful for before your child's falling asleep. It's this positive thought framing. And doing it at the end of the day is going to help your child sleep better, but it's also setting up great habits. And I do have an acronym. You know how I love acronyms. I actually asked AI to come up with an acronym. There were 4 things I wanted to cover. And I said, how might I create an acronym around these ideas? It added in a 5th thing to consider, and then it gave me an acronym, SLEEP, which is so easy to remember, SLEEP. So I will tell you what that is in just a second. But the things that I really wanted you to focus on based on my own readings was that we want to give our kids a real feeling of safety before sleep, an assurance of love, a feeling of joy, and an imagination of possibility. So those were the things I wanted to go with. You'll hear how that kind of came together in our new acronym, SLEEP. But it's how we train the brain to do those things before bed. Now, the other thing is, this isn't something that you do while sitting on the couch before bed. This is after pajamas, after we've brushed our teeth, after we've read stories. It's the literally last thing. It's the right before lights out moment. And it's not like a checklist. Even though I know I have a fun acronym, it's not something that you just be like, oh, check, 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 did it, good night. It's more of a ritual. It's more of a wind down ritual that I want you to keep in mind that you're starting. It's just a new thing your family does. It's a new experience that everyone has the opportunity to enjoy before falling asleep. Because remember, the goal is to build a habit that eventually your children will do independently as their own solo act right before they fall asleep. So let's talk about it. Here's my acronym, SLEEP. It's actually not my acronym. AI came up with it for me, but I do like it. So SLEEP, SLEEP. So the S, the number 1, is to speak safety. You always want your children to feel like they are very safe. They're not being bombarded by you by any means. It would be the simple knock, knock, knock. Hey, do you mind if I come in? It's dimming the lights. It's having a very calm tone that helps children feel very safe. Our tone, it should be very low pressure, calming. The whole thing is very calming. It's that you're present, but you're not pushy. The L would be to lead then with some love. This isn't like a long emotional speech. Remember, we're just doing this in like under 5 minutes. You may want to try a simple affirming statement like, I love being your mom, or I am so proud of how you handled that thing today or that sibling today. Or if it was a particularly bad day for your child, to say, man, tough days are tough. I hope you know I always have your back. You're just giving some kind of a comment that lets them know how much they are loved. Then the first E in SLEEP is to explore some of the good of the day. So you could ask questions. So what was something today that just made you so happy, or it made you laugh, or it made you smile? Or if your child's not likely to give a response, you could always share something good about your own day, especially if it involved your child. Like, okay, I have to say, at dinner when you told that story, I laughed so hard. I'm telling you, you made my whole night. Something like that, just exploring the good. And the reason why you want to search for the good is when our brain starts to scan for good things, it stays in scanning mode and it keeps searching for more good things. This is important because it removes the replay of any stressful moments. So you start to explore the good. The second E is to envision tomorrow. It's so important to imagine what's possible. That's the last thing that you want your brain to land on. That subconscious mind that's ready to go to work. If we can land there, it's going to be thinking about that and ways to make that happen. So envision a very bright tomorrow. You could say, hey, so what's something you're looking forward to tomorrow? Or you could share something you're looking forward to tomorrow. Or you could even just leave with, I sure hope tomorrow brings you something so unexpectedly awesome. I'm excited to see what it might be. Again, the whole point is to set the subconscious to expect good things, even though the future is yet to unfold. We don't know. It could be an amazing day. It may not, but we don't know. So why not land on the possibility of it being amazing? And then the final letter in the acronym SLEEP is P, which I hadn't had in there in mine originally, but I think it's a very good one. And that is practice consistently. So when we practice, every night we come in. At first, your kids may be like, what are you doing, Mom? Are you going to do this every night? Say, I may. I want to kind of try this. I just want to see like how I'm working on it myself. Is it helping us sleep better? Are you feeling like you're sleeping better? What are you noticing? Because here's the thing. You are creating a ritual, and your kids are going to remember the rhythm of the ritual for months, years to come. And it's not about having some deep talk. It's really just about helping your child learn how to anchor his mind into hope and connecting his heart to yours. It's a very valuable 5 minutes of your day. And it's something I hope you consider trying. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be perfect. You want consistency, and you will see the connection happen. And here's the thing, you're going to sleep better just knowing that when your child falls asleep with grateful, peaceful thoughts, you aren't just helping your child sleep better that particular night. You're helping your child shape her emotional baseline moving forward for her life. These are good skills to practice. And I hope you do not forget that your own thoughts matter too. I would love to know, where does your mind go when you are drifting off? Because maybe you need to consider the SLEEP acronym for yourself as well. Dim those lights, calm the tone, put on a lovely playlist. This would also be a wonderful time to end with a prayer, just something super calming, very low pressure. Maybe you have a playlist of some soft music. Anything like that builds this comfortable and safe environment for your mind to say, I can sleep now. With the leading with love, are there things that you are loving about your life? Lead with that. What are you loving about your life? How about exploring the good in your day? What about envisioning your dreams for tomorrow? What would you love to imagine happening in your life? You want to set your subconscious for great expectations just as much as you want to do that for your children. And please practice consistently. I would love to hear how this helps. And as always, I do hope that I have given you, if nothing else, some food for thought. And I hope that you choose to spend the last 5 minutes of this day contemplating all good things. Right on, my friend. Sweet dreams. Well, thanks so much for tuning in and listening this week. Hey, if this was something that you found valuable, don't forget you want to subscribe or follow so that every time a new episode is dropped, you'll be the first to know. And hey, before you go, if you are looking to get some of this academic writing under your belt and outsourced so that it's one less thing, freeing you up to enjoy more time with your family, hey, you're going to want to head over to writeonweb.com to see what kinds of resources and materials I have available for you. I will look forward to seeing you there, and I will look forward to seeing you here in our next episode. Right on.